There is a number on your truck's window sticker that almost every RV buyer uses to decide if their truck can tow their trailer. It is also the number that gets more RV families into dangerous, overloaded situations than any other single figure in the industry. I'm talking about the manufacturer's published maximum towing capacity, and I'm going to show you exactly why it is nearly worthless for RV buyers, and what number you should actually be using instead. What the published towing capacity actually tells you. Let me start with what the manufacturer's published maximum towing capacity actually is. Most buyers assume it answers the question, can my truck tow this trailer? It does not. The published towing capacity is the maximum weight a truck can horizontally move down a flat road under controlled testing conditions. Most manufacturers follow the SAE J2807 standard, which specifies the testing procedure. Under that standard, the truck is tested with a 150-pound driver, no passengers, minimal gear, and a specifically configured trailer that is optimized for the test. That testing scenario has almost nothing in common with how RV families actually travel. You have a driver and passengers. You have gear in the truck bed, tools, bikes, cargo, and food. You have a hitch installed. You have a weight distribution system if you are towing a travel trailer. Every pound of that real-world payload consumes capacity that the published towing number does not account for. So when you read that your truck has a maximum towing capacity of 13,500 pounds, and you find a travel trailer that weighs 11,000 pounds fully loaded, it is very tempting to conclude that you have 2,500 pounds of comfortable margin. That math is not wrong. It is just answering the wrong question. The spec that actually matters. Payload capacity. Here is the spec that most RV buyers either do not know about or underestimate badly. Payload capacity. Payload is the maximum amount of weight your truck can support with downward vertical force. This is completely separate from towing capacity, which is horizontal force. And this is where the math starts to reveal the real problem with using published towing capacity as your primary number. Let me use a real example. The 2026 Ford F-150 with the 3.5-liter EcoBoost has a published maximum towing capacity of 13,500 pounds. Impressive number. But that specific build has a payload capacity of around 2,000 to 2,400 pounds depending on configuration. Now let us walk through what actually happens when you hook up a fifth wheel. Your fifth wheel hitch hardware weighs around 150 to 200 pounds. A small fifth wheel fully loaded at 11,000 pounds will have a pin weight, the downward force it applies to your truck bed, of approximately 20 to 25% of its total weight. That is 2,200 to 2,750 pounds of downward force on the truck. Add 200 pounds for the hitch, 150 pounds for the driver, and another 200 pounds for a passenger and basic gear. You are already at or past the payload capacity before you have packed a single piece of camping equipment. The truck can technically tow 13,500 pounds. It cannot safely carry the downward weight that towing an 11,000-pound fifth wheel creates. This is not a fringe scenario. It is not me picking an extreme edge case. Manufacturers and dealerships actively market half-ton trucks as capable of towing fifth wheels. The numbers support the horizontal towing claim. The payload capacity numbers, which are far less prominently displayed, tell a very different story. Payload capacity is almost always exceeded before towing capacity in real RV use, and that is the calculation most buyers never run. Understanding GCWR, the safety rating that changes everything. Before we get to the better calculation method, we need to talk about one more acronym, GCWR, the Gross Combined Weight Rating. This is the maximum weight that your truck and trailer are allowed to weigh together as one unit rolling down the road. GCWR is a federally required safety rating. It is not a marketing number. It is not optimized for best-in-class bragging rights. It is the number that represents the engineering limit of the entire towing system. Engine, transmission, brakes, suspension, and frame working together under load. The reason GCWR matters so much for RVers is that it is the only calculation that forces you to account for both vehicles together. The published towing capacity tells you how much the truck can horizontally pull. Payload capacity tells you how much the truck can vertically support. GCWR tells you the maximum combined weight of the entire outfit, and because it is a safety-rated number based on actual engineering limits rather than marketing optimization, It is the most honest single figure in your truck's spec sheet. If your gross combined weight, the actual total weight of your fully loaded truck plus your fully loaded trailer, exceeds your GCWR, you are operating outside the safety envelope your manufacturer engineered and tested. Full stop. The better calculation is GCWR minus your actual GCW. GCWR, gross combined weight rating, minus GCW, gross combined weight. This is the fourth method I recommend in this video because it is the most accurate choice for real-world use. Let me explain exactly how to run this. Your GCWR is on your truck's door jamb sticker or in the owner's manual. Find the number for your specific build and hitch type because conventional towing, fifth wheel, and gooseneck can have different GCWR values on some trucks. Make sure you are using the right one. Your GCW, gross combined weight, is the actual total weight of your loaded truck and your loaded trailer together. The most accurate way to get this number is to drive to a CAT scale when you are fully loaded for a trip. Position your truck's front axle on the first pad, your rear axle on the second pad, and your trailer's axle or axles on the third pad. Your scale ticket will give you individual weights for each axle and a total gross combined weight. Now subtract. If your GCWR is 25,000 pounds and your loaded GCW from the scale is 22,400 pounds, you have 2,600 pounds of margin. That positive number means you are within your safety rating. If the subtraction produces a negative number, you are over the limit. It is that straightforward. And critically, this calculation automatically accounts for everything that the published towing capacity ignores. Your passengers, your gear in the truck bed, your hitch hardware, your groceries, your full fresh water tank. All of it is on the scale. All of it is in the number. There is no hidden assumption about a 150-pound driver on an empty test track. Why the published towing capacity number exists, and why it gets people into trouble. I want to be clear about something before we go further. Truck manufacturers are not lying when they publish a maximum towing capacity number. The number is accurate for the conditions under which it was tested. The problem is that those testing conditions are structurally disconnected from how RV families actually use their trucks, and the number is prominently marketed in a way that makes it easy to use incorrectly. There is also a competitive dynamic that does not help. Truck manufacturers compete aggressively for best-in-class towing claims. If one brand publishes 13,500 pounds and a competitor publishes 14,000 pounds, that 500-pound difference influences purchasing decisions even when both trucks would be equally overloaded towing the same RV in the same real-world configuration. The published number is optimized for marketing, while gross combined weight rating, GCWR, is optimized for safety. Those are two different optimization targets and they produce two different numbers. The one that gets displayed on the window sticker and in the commercials is the one optimized for marketing. The one that actually protects you is the one you have to look up yourself in the door jamb sticker or the owner's manual. Running the numbers before you buy, a practical approach. If you are still shopping for a truck or an RV, you obviously cannot put your setup on a scale yet. Here's how to run a conservative pre-purchase calculation that gives you a realistic picture before you commit. First, find your truck's gross combined weight rating for your specific configuration from the door jamb sticker or the manufacturer's published spec sheets online. Make sure you are using the gross combined weight rating for the hitch type you plan to use, because fifth wheel and conventional towing often have different values. Second, find your truck's curb weight, the weight of the truck as it leaves the factory with all fluids but without people, gear, or accessories. Third, estimate your actual operating weight in the truck. This includes you and any regular passengers, your hitch hardware, tools you keep in the bed, any permanent modifications like a toolbox or bed liner, and a realistic estimate of food and supplies you carry on a typical trip. Add all of that to your curb weight to get a realistic truck gross vehicle weight. Fourth, find your trailer's unloaded vehicle weight from the manufacturer's spec sheet. Then add a realistic estimate of your cargo, gear, clothes, a full fresh water tank, food, and outdoor equipment. That gives you a realistic trailer gross vehicle weight. Add the truck gross vehicle weight and the trailer gross vehicle weight together. That is your estimated gross combined weight. Subtract it from your gross combined weight rating. If the number is positive and you have a reasonable margin, I suggest at least 10 to 15%, you are in a workable range. If the math is tight before you even account for real-world variables, you have an honest answer about whether this combination will work safely. The 80-20 rule, good theory, real limitations. You have probably heard the 80-20 rule, the idea that you should not exceed 80% of your maximum capacities. In theory, it is sound advice, and I think it is worth applying as a general principle. In practice, it needs context. If you are driving your trailer 30 minutes to a seasonal site twice a year on flat roads, operating closer to your rated limits is a much smaller risk than if you are living full-time across the country on mountain highways with variable grades and temperature extremes. The 80-20 rule also does not resolve the fundamental problem with the published towing capacity number. If your published towing capacity is 13,500 pounds and you apply the 80% rule, your target becomes 10,800 pounds. But if your payload capacity math shows you are already at your limit with a 9,000-pound trailer in real-world configuration, the 80% calculation on the towing number did not protect you. A calculation based on GCWR, the gross combined weight rating, would have caught the problem. The published towing-based calculation would have given you a false sense of margin. That is the practical reason why I think the GCWR minus GCW method produces the most honest answer for RV owners. It is based on a federally required safety rating applied to your actual real-world weights, not on a marketing-optimized number applied to a hypothetical testing scenario. Here is what I want you to take away from this video. The published maximum towing capacity on your truck window sticker is not the number that tells you whether your RV setup is safe. It tells you how much weight the truck can horizontally pull under controlled test conditions with minimal payload. For RVers traveling with passengers, gear, hitches, and real-world cargo, payload capacity is almost always the limiting factor, and it is exceeded long before the published towing capacity becomes a concern. Gross Combined Weight Rating, GCWR, is the federally required safety rating that accounts for the entire outfit. Doing the gross combined weight rating minus gross combined weight calculation is the most honest method for confirming your setup is within specification. If you have not already done it, get your fully loaded rig on a CAT scale on your next trip. The scale ticket will tell you more about your actual safety margin than any number on any window sticker. And if you are still shopping, use the calculation method I walked through in Section 6 to run a realistic pre-purchase estimate before you commit. If you found this breakdown useful and want more content on understanding the specs that actually matter for RV towing, please subscribe. We cover the numbers, the calculations, and the real-world decisions that determine whether your RV travels are safe and enjoyable, not the marketing figures the industry would prefer you use. See you in the next one.